Do you remember Usain Bolt? He was the world record-breaking gold medal-winning Jamaican sprinter who was the toast of London Olympics. The guy who's considered the fastest person ever. Well, from Usain Bolt, we go to an insane Bolt. Check out Republican Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann running for her life through the halls of Congress. Just look at her sprint. She can't get away from that reporter fast enough. Why? Because she was asked to respond to this whopper.
A new book is out talking about the perks and the excess of the $1.4 billion a year presidency that we're paying for. And this is a lifestyle that is one of excess. Now we find out that there are 5 chefs on Air Force One. There are 2 projectionists who operate the White House movie theater. We are also the ones who are paying for someone to walk the president's dog. Bachmann's
allegations were totally bogus. The Washington Post fact checkers say money spent on the presidency and the so-called perks she describes appears to be no different for Obama than for Bush or other presidents. It's absurd to suggest otherwise, and it earned her the prestigious 4 Pinocchios. But the marathon of spin wasn't ending.
What I want to ask you about is the fact that you said that you talked about the excesses that he's engaged in, the fact that he has a dog walker, which is not true.
The big point of my speech was about Benghazi. This was an absolute disaster.
But you bring up the other things.
Dog handlers, and there's 4 Americans killed.
But Congresswoman, you're the one who brought it up.
These Americans.
You're the one who brought it up.
And she's gone. We shouldn't be surprised. It's not the first time Bachmann's run away from a woman trying to ask her a question. Remember this story we unearthed today when Bachmann bolted in tears to escape 2 lesbians who were trying to talk to her in 2005. Republicans want to live in a fact-free zone, but when they get caught in the land of make-believe, all they can do is run from reality. Joining me now are Alex Seitz-Wald and Patricia Murphy. Thanks to both of you for being here tonight.
Thanks.
Hi.
Alex, this is some kind of Olympic sprint from Bachmann. How can a member of Congress run from something she said in a speech?
Yeah, well, it's this, she's like the raw, uncut id of the conservative movement. Yeah, there's no filter on what she says, and she's been doing this forever. But it's really about fundraising for her, I think. It's not about trying to make a point or trying to be right. It's about trying to throw out the most outlandish claim possible and then hitting her supporters up in an email and saying, look, I'm pissing off MSNBC and Rev Al. They're attacking me. Won't you chip in $5 to defend me? So it's this bizarre world where there's no incentive for her to be right, and the more wrong she is, the better she does.
Well, I'm not pissed off. I just pity, I mean, it's so bizarre. But let me ask you, Patricia, you know, in her speech, she said, when questioned about her speech, it was all about Benghazi. But listen to this.
Of every dollar that you hold in your hand, 70 cents of that dollar that's supposed to go to the poor doesn't. It actually goes to benefit the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. 70 cents on a dollar. That's how the president's caring works in practice. So $3 in food stamps for the needy, $7 in salaries and pensions for the bureaucrats who are supposed to be taking care of the poor.
Now, PolitiFact says that her claims about money for the poor going to D.C. bureaucrats are, quote, ridiculously off base, and they rule her claims to merit a pants on fire rating. Patricia?
Yes, I would also like to declare I have also chased Michelle Bachmann through the bowels of the Capitol. She's extremely quick. It is incredibly hard to catch her. So my heart goes out to Dana Bash trying to really track her down.
You actually had to chase her? Really?
Yes, I have chased her. She's really very quick. She's very quick on her feet. If she doesn't want to answer a question, it's just not going to happen. But
she's
get
quick
back
on
to the
facts too. But go ahead.
She's more fast and loose with the facts, and I think that's the problem here. And really, if you listen to her entire speech at CPAC, what we're talking about in terms of the dog walker and the presidential limos, that is the tip of the iceberg. Her biggest point was that Republicans, conservatives care about Americans, care about people in the audience. Democrats do not, and saying that the president is living this lavish lifestyle while Republicans want to take care of Americans or help Americans take care of each other. Her speech was so riddled with facts. She was saying that we need to fund Alzheimer's research, but the Republican budget cuts Alzheimer's research by $1 billion. The president wants to increase Alzheimer's research. So it's almost impossible to know where to start with the fact-checking. I give all the fact-checkers out there a big hand for trying to do it, but there are not enough column inches to fact-check that entire speech at CPAC.
You know, when you look at getting faced with reality, you have to go back to this highlight-worthy clip from Bill O'Reilly. Watch this.
He has to say, here are the programs that are going to go down. Here's how we're going to reform Medicare and Social Security. And the man refuses to do it.
Yes, he is. He has said he's willing to cut these programs.
Hold it, because now I'm getting teed off of you. Give me one damn program he said he cut.
He has cut entitlements. He has cut
entitlements. One program.
What do you want to yell at?
Because you're lying.
I'm not lying.
You are lying.
Don't call me a liar. Don't you sit there and call me a liar.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
Hey,
you don't like the president. You don't like what he's doing. But don't sit there and call me a liar.
I am.
They can't handle facts. I mean, they go berserk when confronted with facts. And I think that's the point, Alex, of Bachmann and O'Reilly and many on the right. Facts, they run, they get highly irritated, they just can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're in Washington, we're talking about sequestration and how to deal with the budget, and they refuse to believe that Obama has put a plan on the table. You constantly hear them talking about, you know, when will Obama come forward with a plan? There's a plan. It's on whitehouse.gov. He's put forward cuts to entitlements, which they're demanding, and they pretend that he hasn't done that yet. And even this week, you know, with the RNC autopsy plan, the election was a big fact coming right at them that they couldn't deny. And they acknowledged some things, and I'll give them credit for that. But on the economic issues, they just completely ignored them in that report because they really don't have an answer. They want to cut taxes and cut the deficit at the same time. Those are their two top economic agenda items, but they're fundamentally in conflict with each other. You can't do both. So they're just trying to, you know, ignore it and hope it goes away.
Now, when you look at the reaction, Patricia, it's no wonder that they are being defeated at the polls, and poll after poll show that Americans are not going their way. But I think this only further drives the wedge between the American voter and them, because people are offended when it is clear you are not even being honest with them.
Well, yeah, and I think what Americans really want is just an honest discussion of the issues. And if people come at an issue and they have an honest disagreement and they use facts that are accurate, you can have that discussion, you can have that debate. But when you come at a discussion with facts that are not true, that the Washington Post says are for Pinocchios, you just can't even start to talk about things in an honest way. And I think that is why Michelle Bachmann has gotten into so much trouble. She won her last race just by a point. She is a huge target for Democrats coming up in the next election cycle. I think that as much as she wants people to be on her side, if she would just start with the basic facts that are true, she'd be a lot further ahead than she is right now. She's getting herself into a lot of trouble.
Patricia Murphy and Alex Seitz-Wald, thank you both for your time tonight.